If you've been sitting all day, then you've got to check these stretches out. These are my top 10 hip openers for increasing hip mobility and flexibility. So the first one is a low lunge with an arch lift. So you can either come up onto your hands or go down onto your forearms. You can also raise the floor up by putting books on underneath your forearms so that you have a little elevation. If you have more range of motion, go right down onto your forearms to feel that really deep hip stretch. All of these stretches you're going to hold between 10 and 30 seconds, depending on the tightness. Of course, you always want to do a proper warm-up before you go into any static movements. Next, we have wipers with hip extension. This is a really great one because you're going in internal and external rotation, and then you're getting that extension by coming up onto the knee just briefly, pushing the hip forward as you come up onto that knee. I'll usually do 1 or 2 per side and then go up into that extension. All these stretches are really great for your hip flexors, for your quadriceps, for your glutes, for your hamstrings. Not as much for the hamstrings, but you'll still feel a little bit of residual. This is a single leg hip slide or single leg slide. Now I'm doing both sides for about 5 to 10 repetitions. Next, we have double leg slides. Now for both of these slides, all you want to do is just drop the knee down gently and then push the leg out. Internally rotate the feet once the legs are straight and then pull back in. More so on the single leg stride, you're going to get that internal rotation of the foot. For the double legs, don't worry, just bring your legs together and then pull them back in. Next, we have figure 4. Crossing the right ankle over the left thigh. You can either leave your foot on the ground or bring it right up into tabletop as I've shown here. So this is the modification, leaving it down, and then you can raise it up to intensify the stretch. You can also push your knee away with the opposite, or the same hand rather. Moving right into piriformis. You're just going to take that opposite knee to the opposite elbow and shoulder so you can feel the stretch deep into your glutes. The next one is a little bit more intensified Piriformis and IT Band stretch. You're crossing your legs as if you were sitting in a chair and you're grabbing onto the ankles as if you're grabbing onto motorcycle handles. Feeling that stretch right along the side of the hip and the side of the leg. Again, holding for about 20 to 30 seconds. Next is a squat with internal hip rotation. You're getting into that squat position and then you're laterally rotating, internally rotating that hip, and then reaching that arm up and back with a slight lean and then a slight back bend. Coming back into that squat each time. You can repeat about 3 to 5 per side. Next, we have very popular half pigeon. I love half pigeon because you can do this multiple ways. You can do it modified by raising the floor up and doing it off your couch, off your bed, off an ottoman. Or if you have the range of motion and you don't have any knee issues, you can do it right on the floor. Making sure you're holding each side for about 30, to 40 seconds. And feel free to hold any of these stretches longer. If you are completing a tough workout, these are great to do after a workout. And then finally, we have child's pose. This is a great way to finish, just sitting your heels down, toes together, heels apart, and just sitting back on your heels.